In this installment, we're going to be going over Sunday Night Football Showdown matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers and the San Francisco 49ers. Let's get into it. Hey, yo! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your Sunday Night Football Showdown slate on DraftKings between the Los Angeles Chargers and the San Francisco 49ers. But before I deep dive into this California mix-up we got going on here, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about the TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about the Patreon if you need more DFS, betting, and fantasy football advice. All of the links will be provided down below. The first thing we're going to do before we deep dive into the captains and the flex ops, we got to go over the injury report for this game here between the Chargers and the 49ers. Let's look at the Los Angeles Chargers coming off the bye. We were hoping for some positive news in the Keenan Allen department. We already knew about Mike Williams, but Keenan Allen is not going to be able to play this week against the 49ers. DeAndre Carter looks fine, so at least they have him alongside of Josh Palmer at that wide receiver position. Dustin Hopkins, their starting kicker, is going to be out with a right hamstring. We got a Q tag on Brendan James, Q tag on Trey Pipkins. They really going to need him. And then we got a doubtful on Chris Rumph and an out on Mike Williams, which we already know about at that wide receiver position. All right, for the San Francisco 49ers side, Eric Armstead, that's going to be a big out. The D lineman, their leader down there on that D line, is going to be out for this game. So that's huge. We got a doubtful on Samson Ebukam, another D lineman. So they're getting attacked at this defensive line position here for the 49ers. Deebo Samuel is going to be fine. And we got an out for Jason Verrett yet again. He's going to miss a season-ending injury. It keeps happening over and over again. He's feisty. He continues to come back, but that's going to be below to the secondary of the 49ers as well. Let's move over to the captains. For the El Capitans, the first guy we're going to talk about, and I think he has the best matchup in this in particular game here, and that's going to be CMC, Mr. Christian McCaffrey here. Their leading running back for the San Francisco 49ers is going to be one of my top plays at that captain position. If we're looking at him right now, we're looking at fantasy points allowed to that running back position. We're going to go to the Chargers, and these numbers are pretty stark here. We're going to go all the way to the bottom here, and we got the Los Angeles Chargers 31st overall and 26th in the red zone. Look at this number. They're allowing 134 rushing yards a game and 6 yards to carry, 1.1 TDs per game to that running back position. That's going to be pretty stark for the San Francisco 49ers offense here, who's a running team anyway, and they have Christian McCaffrey again. Could he go for another 40 bomb? He could. He honestly could. That's how bad the Chargers' run defense has been this year. This team is coming off a bye, so obviously they're going to be scheming up things to help stop Christian McCaffrey. But this man is an elite talent, and he's in a perfect situation here with Kyle Shanahan. They're going to drop some more plays, make sure he gets his touches. He was able to get 20 or over 25 touches last week prior in that game against the Los Angeles Rams. Yet again, he had 40 fantasy points in that game. Christian McCaffrey is going to be a lock to have in each and every one of your lineups, and I like him as a captain this Sunday. All right, next guy we're going to talk about will be Austin Ekeler, okay? With the injury to Mike Williams and the injury to Keenan Allen, Austin Ekeler is going to be in a position where he needs to step up, and since these two guys have been out, he has seen a huge boost in the receiving department. All right, he's already going to get double-digit rushing attempts, but look at what you're seeing from him in the receiving game. We're seeing 8 targets, 12 targets, 16 targets to Austin Ekeler. He has a game with 12 catches. He has a game with 10 catches and 7 catches. And he has a streak of touchdowns that date back all the way to week 3, all right? So he's going to be a lot to get in the end zone in this particular game. We already seeing big injuries here. This is the 49ers defensive line. They're missing their 2 starters. Samson's Samson Ubicom and Eric Armstead. Those are two huge losses, all right? That's going to equal to better opportunities for Austin Eckler to run the ball up the middle. And we're already going to get a boost of work in the receiving game. So I love Austin Eckler in Sunday night, all right? So we can go double running back here. It's going to be pretty expensive to pay for these two guys, so we got to find value, all right? Justin Herbert in this game, I don't expect him to have a big breakout. Yes, it's a game where coming off a bye in week 8, they played solidly against Atlanta. Hopefully things can get turned around, but the weapons are going to be the problem. He needs Mike Williams. He needs Keenan Allen. So I'm going to bump Justin Herbert down to a flex position play here. Could he have an upside game here? Yes, he could. Yes, he could. Justin Herbert is that talented, all right? He's that type of leader for this offense. He's an elite quarterback, all right? And he's yet to have a big blow-up game this season. But it needs to come. It needs to come very soon. They need him to play at his absolute best, despite the fact that they are without a lot of talented wide receivers. So Justin Herbert is going to be moved to a flex play. I will mention him as a captain. Jimmy Garoppolo, this is not the game environment for him. It's rare that you play Jimmy Garoppolo at a captain position. He's a flex play this week. Deebo Samuel comes in, and hopefully they can get him more acclimated here. He needs his touches. He's going to be sharing work with Christian McCaffrey as well. He's going to get a couple carries here and there. They need Deebo to step up in that passing game, all right? So hopefully Deebo can come back, get his allotment of 7, 8, 9 targets a game. He's going to need to be explosive. He's going to need to create yards after the catch for him to pop off at his current salary. So it's going to be interesting to see him play it's been 3 weeks now since we've seen Deebo Samuel. He had a poor performance in that game against KC. So we're hoping for a bounce back performance from Deebo Samuel. So I will mention him as a captain because he always has the ability to take the top off the defense, all right? The next guy we're going to talk about will be Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer is now the number 1 option in this offense as a wide receiver for the Chargers, all right? So you got Eckler, you got Josh Palmer. These two guys are going to be creating havoc. Finally had a solid game. So we're hoping he can build on this game of 8 for 10 for 106. Has yet to get in the end zone for a couple weeks now since week 2. And he's been having all the opportunity. No Keenan, no Mike Williams. Josh Palmer needs to take his game to the next level. Justin Herbert needs him to exploit this defense on the San Francisco side of the ball. If they can get things going with the running game, hopefully that can open up things for Joshua Palmer and the other pass catchers. So we're looking at targets here. 22 targets in the past 2 games that he's played and over 160 yards receiving. So that's a positive sign to see as well. I like Josh Palmer as a captain option, all right? Next captain option we're going to look at will be Brandon Ayuk. All right, Brandon Ayuk has had a great connection with Jimmy Garoppolo. This pretty much this whole entire season, he's coming on pretty strong. Has 4 TDs already this year. A big blow-up game against Atlanta, 28 fantasy points. Very good game against the Rams, 20 fantasy points there where he got a touchdown as well. So things should continue to keep on rolling for Brandon Ayuk. Despite the fact Deebo Samuel is going to be alongside of him. Both of these guys are game-breaking type of talent wide receivers. I have no problem playing both of them in our lineups at the flex position, all right? All right, it only takes 1 catch for both of these guys to take one all the way to the house. So you got to be able to play some of that upside in your lineup. So I like Brandon Ayuk at 8,200. Let's move on to the flex ops. Starting off with the flex ops, the first guy we're going to talk about will be George Kittle, all right? Despite the fact I do not like Jimmy Garoppolo, all right? I do not like Jimmy Garoppolo as a captain play. He is a decent flex play, and that's because of all the talent he has around him. Now, I talked about Ayuk. I talked about Deebo Samuel. George Kittle is coming on a little bit strong here. If you look at his last 3 games, we're seeing 3 straight games of over double-digit fantasy points. Finally getting some looks in the end zone as well. That's another great sign to see from your top-tier tight end in George Kittle. There's another game environment here where the Chargers, year after year, have struggled against the tight end position. This year, if you're looking at fantasy points allowed to the tight end position, the Chargers have been solid, all right? 4.5 catches a game, around 60-yard mark, and only 0.1 touchdown. But we're talking about an elite, talented tight end here in George Kittle. They've been connecting between Garoppolo and Kittle the past 2 games. It can definitely roll over to 3 straight games in a row for George Kittle, especially since he started so poorly in this season. All right, he started off injured and then didn't really put up fantasy points until week 6 against Atlanta. So George Kittle is going to be one of our top tier flex plays at 7,400. Let's continue to go down to another tight end on the other side of the ball. That's going to be Gerald Everett. All right, now with no Donald Parham, Gerald Everett is going to get all the usage at that tight end position, all right? This is going to be the extension of their passing game. They need Palmer to step up, and they also need Gerald Everett. As you can see, 9 and 8 targets the past 2 games he's played. He had a strong start to the beginning of the season where he had 14 fantasy points against the Raiders, 13 against the Chiefs, 17 against Houston. Got a little bit of a bump in the road there against Cleveland and against Denver, but has bounced back okay-ish against Seattle and Atlanta. They're going to need him to step up in this game against the San Francisco 49ers. Like I said, number 1 option, it will be Palmer. Number 2 will be Gerald Everett in this offense as the pass catcher's going down the field. So I have no problem going to him at 6,200. All right, let's continue to go down. Are we going to consider defenses and kickers? Yes, we will in this particular game. Both kickers are going to be viable with Robbie Gould, and we got Chris Dicker here. If things get a little bit hasty as these teams try to score the ball in the red zone area, Robbie Gould is a sufficient enough solid kicker in his whole entire career. I have no problem going towards him. And then Chris Dicker here, he's been solid performances. That 0 is completely wrong if you're looking at the stats. He's got 2 field goals made in each of those games. I don't know why they gave him 0 fantasy points, but Cameron Dicker here has been a solid kicker as the starter, okay? For the defense side, if I had to choose one, that's going to be tough. That's going to be honestly tough. We got Jimmy Garoppolo and his turnover tendencies. The talent is on both sides of the ball. We got a hampered 49ers defense. I might want to stay away from that, especially on that defensive line. That's going to be a question mark. I might lean towards the Chargers defense. I like the explosiveness over there. I like the special teams that they have. And I like the fact that it's Jimmy Garoppolo going up against their defense, all right? Garoppolo has a tendency of turning the ball over. I have no problem going to him in this, going at him and choosing the Chargers defense for this slate, all right? Let's just clear this out and find some more gems for you. DeAndre Carter is going to be the slot wide receiver in this offense. His current price is at 8,100. He saw 6 targets and 7 targets the past 2 games. So he's going to be the guy in the middle, getting first downs. The question for him to really break out of his current price is him getting in the end zone. So I like DeAndre Carter there as an option, moving the chains in that slot position. Anyone cheaper than that, we can always go towards a Kyle Juszczyk. He's a bottom flex guy that he's going to get usage, get a couple receptions here and there. He's going to get you something. If you need to fill in that last final flex position, Kyle Juszczyk is solid enough to get you 4, 5, 6 points, something relevant in your lineup for a very, very cheap price, all right? The other X factors that they got on the San Francisco side of the ball, that's Ray McCloud. He's more of a special teamer, speedster type of wide receiver. And you see he has some upside in that game against KC, 4 for 65 for a touchdown. So the opportunity could be there where it presents itself as an option deep down the field. And other than that, we want to stay away from anyone below that 1K range, all right? We're not looking at TDP. We're not looking at Bandy. The farthest I would go will be Kyle Juszczyk. So let's clear this out and go with the main guys. We're going to go in each and every one of our lineups. The first one will be Christian McCaffrey. The second one will be Austin Eckler. And if I had to choose a number 3 option, someone that I know for a fact is going to get a ton of targets, that's going to be Joshua Palmer here, all right? I can't fade the fact that he's getting double-digit targets each and every game. So give me Josh Palmer, give me Christian McCaffrey, and Austin Eckler. These are going to be my 3 main guys to have in each and every one of our lineups for Sunday Night Showdown. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessNetJSD, and I'll be back with another video very soon, all right? Peace out, guys.